All right, so there's this event going on March 29th, and it has 7 speakers. And as I recall, that you are one of the speakers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of go in detail of what exactly this event is, if you don't mind.
So it's pretty much Good Friday. Some people call it Easter. We call it Resurrection Sunday. So they basically gather like 7 speakers on the last 7 things that Jesus said. Mine is, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. So that's the topic I'm
okay.
going to speak on. So I got like 5 to 7 minutes to do that. So that's on March 29th.
All right. So it's a lot to uncover here with you, Stannetta, because you are, I think the word is multifaceted. Multifaceted.
That's a
the
good word to use.
Right. And we just about to go ahead and get into it. So let's first start about you being a preacher. First of all, if you guys did not know, one of the youngest preachers that I've come to listen to, come to take advice from. So what are some struggles you have being a young preacher?
Some of the struggles that I have now, it's something that I'm working on. Pretty much having a balance, because you have some preachers that's real deep all the time, and then they don't have a balance where they like to have fun and stuff like that. I like to have fun, talk trash, talk football, basketball, whatever the case may be. I might throw in the bet every now and again, but it's all fun. So I'm learning how to have a life outside of preaching, just to balance each other without compromising.
Oh, okay. So no, that was a very impactful statement right there, because man, when I say it's a lot of preachers that, like you said, are too deep that they can't really decipher whether this is considered fun as a preacher. Like, I can do this, but I'm still a preacher. So what would you say to I guess you want to say the outsiders that see you as a preacher, but you still, like you said, placing bets, playing basketball, talking trash, all
for real, that's me. That's who I am. I grew up around a bunch of boys, so it's always up. But the thing is, like, when I would look at a lot of preachers these days, and I found myself years ago when I was coming up in ministry, like trying to model after those people, and you'll be literally 20 years old acting like you're 85 years old. You don't got to do that. Live your life, and God still called you. So that's my thing about it. Just be yourself.
So have you ever had anyone, like, as a preacher, have you ever had anyone or any kind of I guess you want to say negative comments because you are a preacher doing these things?
Yeah. Okay. So let's just say this. I'm married, right? I'm not going to have on a robe all the time. Sometimes when I'm out with my husband, I wear shorts. A lot of people say, oh, you a preacher, you shouldn't wear shorts. There's a balance in between things. I'm not doing nothing to provoke my brother or my sister and stuff like that. But I do have a husband that I need to keep happy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be in a robe every day. So if I throw on my shorts and a crop top, I'm still saved and I still could preach and God still called me. God still called me,
Okay. No, that's you actually breaking a lot of religious chains right now based off those simple statements. And for some reason, there's always going to be some naysayers that be like, Stannetta, but you got to be holy all the time. Now, if with that statement,
now I'm saved all the time. I am. I'm still gonna have the Holy Ghost, but I'm still gonna have my balance too.
So, kind of break down the difference between living that life, right? You being a preacher and also having fun. Kind of break down the difference between that and preachers that's actually out here doing other things but still preaching it, if you get what I mean.
I think the reason why my ministry is so
popping, pretty much,
if that's the word you want to use, I think the reason why I impact so much people because I reach people where they are. A lot of people, I preached in J's and jeans before, and it reached so many people, but people think you got to come in uptight and stuff. I tell a lot of people, like a lot of young people, they think they have to look a certain way to come into the church. Now, God said, come as you are. You're going to still respect the house of God, but you're going to still be yourself, maintain your looks or whatever the case may be. So that's just me. I win people by coming down to where they are or just being where I am pretty much.
No, absolutely. So let's add a little controversy here, right? Based on the statement that you just said, right? Come as you are. when I say people take that statement and twist it and bend it and use it to their own justification to do whatever they want, and they just say, you know, come as you are, so don't judge me. How can you explain that to someone that is already defensive on, I could do what I want because I could come as I are, I could come as I am. God knows my heart.
All right, boom. I come out of Church of God in Christ type of church. So I believe in standard. If you can go on your job and dress the part, you can come into church and do the same thing. But a lot of people lost the reverence for God. Like, you go to court and you stand for the judge, but during prayer, you sitting down in church or you walking out during prayer. We still gotta have that same standard that we have for the world and that we have for the church.
So you're saying the reverence is missing? The
reverence for God is missing in this generation.
Okay, so let's say someone did come up to you and say, you know, I don't preach, but I also play basketball. I also, you know, like you said, don't wear robes all the time. But and then they see you as one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, they see you as one of them, but they still have to have some kind of standard, like you said, because you are a preacher, so they have to respect the oil that's on your head. Mm-hmm. How would you explain that to them? Like, I am your friend, but understand.
Listen, so my thing is, I played college basketball. I literally, like, when you called by God or when you're saved and sanctified, you don't have to open your mouth for somebody to know you saved. And so, like, when I was at college, I was dealing with girls that never had an encounter with God, never been saved. I never judged them because their walk is their walk, my walk is my walk. But I'm gonna allow my light to shine where it is. And then before you know it, I had at my bedside some unsaved girls coming to me and say, "Can I pray with you tonight?" Yeah, heck yeah, let's do it. So I didn't. My light don't shine to dim other people's light. I just shine. That's it. That's it.
Okay, so let's get into because you like I said, you broke down a lot of statements, and we also tore up some religions. So as far as you growing up in the church, because you said you grew up in the church, what kind of church was it? Was it you know, denominational, non-denominational? Because that also plays a part on how your beliefs are.
My dad was purely, I'm a preacher's kid. My dad's a preacher. We came out of Church of God in Christ. Church of God in Christ, that's what I was raised in. So those are type of atmospheres, you know, with the tambourine, the squirrel blood, all of that. That's where I come from. My granddaddy was Leroy Givens, old school evangelist.
No, because I seen some of your sermons. I wouldn't say some. I seen most of your sermons, and you do have that old school vibe as a young preacher. And I don't really see a lot of young preachers, you know, move like an old preacher. Like you rarely see that. So, have you ever had anybody speak on your style of preaching?
Most
like people, good or bad.
I never had. I had an older lady. I was preaching, and an older lady said, "Why that girl preach like she like 30, 80 years old?" I was young, but like that's how I know God called me, because how I am in a pulpit is the total opposite of what I am in the real world. Like, I don't like the mic. I don't like none of that. But when I do get the mic and when God is calling me to minister, I'm a totally different person. And then it's like when that glory come off me, I'm like in another shell, like I'm back in my shell.
So are you an introvert?
I wouldn't call myself an introvert.
Okay.
Nah, because I'm a people's person. I love people. So, but I'm real shy. That's the word. Socially awkward.
Socially awkward. No. So let me ask you this, right? So being aside what you just said about, like, you know, you two different people on when it comes to preaching Stannetta and a home Stannetta, right?
Yeah.
How could you let somebody that's outside of the faith know that, hey, I'm not necessarily living a double life? I need you to understand that.
Yeah, because I believe, because I can't say the standard that I have in the pulpit is the standard I keep at home.
Okay.
The same prayer life I have at church is the same prayer life I have at home. It's not compromised. However, it's like I'm not as talkative. But then you put me in, when God hand is on me and I'm ministering, I'm become a talkative person. Like I don't, but that's what I say about the difference. But as far as like standard wise, I'm the same person in and out.
Morals wise,
yeah, I remember somebody asked my husband like, "What is like being married to a preacher?" He was like, "I can't really tell a difference until she get up there and start preaching, because how she is in the pulpit is how she is at home." You know,
so let's get into because like I said, like that part itself, like a lot of young preachers you might be cranking out little Stanettas you do not know, right? So how does this affect like I want to say preacher life, because like you said, it's not a separate life. It's everybody. You're just one Stannetta, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So how does preaching affect how you run your businesses?
I think because the gift of evangelist is on me.
Okay, that's what I meant. Yeah.
I operate in different gifts. However, the gift of the evangelist on me. So that same like to grab people and have them come in spiritual wise, I got that in the marketplace as well.
Okay.
So it's easy for me like to grab people or have their attention. And now that God given me the ability to speak, like I could do that in the marketplace as well. I remember I just did it was a real estate event.
Mm-hmm.
And I started speaking on business wise and stuff like that. And shoot, 2 minutes into it, you would have sworn we was at church. You would have sworn we was at church. Because I believe God, not only is God in the church, but God is in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. God is in the business. God is God. So that's my thing.
How would you demonstrate that to people that only see God just within the four walls of church? Like he's not just within the four walls.
God is way bigger than that. And we would be, it's a small mind to think that God is within the four walls of the church. God is so much bigger than that. And I even have a problem with people confining themselves to just gospel music. Because if we only preaching to the gospel community, who's out in the world? You get what I'm saying? So I don't like that title of I'm a gospel this. No, take the title off me.
No, because I was just about to ask you about that. Because me personally, I never agreed with the term gospel rap.
No, I'm called to everybody.
Exactly. And if you could just give more information on that, because me personally, like I said, I've never seen that as a thing, because like you said, that close you in and that only makes you reach a certain amount of people. It does not get out to the world, because it's the world that needs these things, right? So if you could just break down what you feel gospel rap is.
I think gospel,
or what it's not.
Gospel, like you said, I think gospel, well, putting a title on it confines you. I remember a couple years,
right?
Yeah, it labels you. I remember a couple years ago, I got my social media wanted to beat me up. Well, at least the real world deep folk, because Tasha Cobbs, one of the biggest gospel artists, did a song with Nicki Minaj. I didn't see the issue, because that allows Tasha Cobb and Nicki Minaj music to minister to the outsider. She's a secular artist. And then what got me is we put it as if the world can't sing the gospel. Now, what if we would have kicked you out the church when you were struggling in your sin? So don't confine me and say I'm a just because you're secular artists don't sing our music. No, I would shoot when I was coming up, when I wasn't confessing to be saved, I used to know scriptures, not because I was deep into the Bible, no, because I heard my mom and them quoting it, and I quoted the same scriptures until I got in alignment with that same word. So you can't crucify somebody because they're in that walk now. Nicki Minaj could be one of the popping gospel artists in a couple years, and we don't even know it. So I say stop putting limits and labels on people.
So are you saying the only people that really would be like, oh no, Kodak can't do a song with Kirk Franklin because they're two different kinds? So would you say that would be like
God say if they not against me, they for me. If you want to sing about the gospel, sing about the gospel. I don't care if you Kodak Black or a little Nas X. He's this generation all jacked up. Nas X, he made a mockery of Jesus, but Paul did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul ended up being one of the the most powerful men in the Bible.
He was a murderer,
so
a Christian murderer.
He persecuted the gospel, but he ended up being it. So we can't confine somebody to what their struggles are now.
So would you say that the world just needs a check in the mirror, like, hey, you know what I'm saying, you're getting on Lil Nas X, but you just did something the other day that's somewhat the same as just he exposed.
Yeah, he got the platform to do it. A lot of them doing the same thing he doing, but they don't have the platform for people to see it. But if God put that spotlight on you, your sin is just as dark as his. So that's my thing.
So it was a song, kind of like it was a song that you did that kind of took off. I think this was, I don't know how long it was, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
When you was on the railroad, when you was on the train track.
Yeah, that's.
And when I seen that, I was like, okay, so she right now is clearing up a lot of confusion. Like, hey, yes, I am a vessel of the Lord, but I can kick them flows whenever you need it. I
still can put a few bars in there now. Don't get it twisted.
So what was that song about?
So somebody actually asked me to do the song around that time.
Okay.
So I started writing. I was like, yeah, that's a good song. But so much was going on. This was in 2020. George Floyd. We had Breonna Taylor, all of those.
Mike Brown.
And all of those people in that short span of time. So when I did a song, I did it hands up, don't shoot. I said, we're a threat without a cause because of the color of our skin. So that song pushed me to write hands up, don't shoot. Because they shooting when we got our hands up. And I think it's not being us having a weapon, it's because the color of our skin. So I did a song called Hands Up, Don't Shoot.
Okay. So did you receive any kind of like backlash? I said that so wrong. Backlash, right.
I was actually on Ricky Smiley Morning Show.
Right,
he played it. So yeah. I didn't get no slack from that song.
Oh, no emails, nothing like that?
Nah.
Because, during that time when you were promoting, being a black activist around that time, you were shot down because it was a video of this young white lady. She was holding up Mike Brown signs in her area and they shut her down immediately. So for you to create a video within that time, that takes a lot of boldness.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm all about. I'm bold. I say what other people don't want to say. I talk about it. I don't care.
Strong. What you call that? Strong personality.
Yeah, I mean, I say what people don't want to talk about. A lot of people don't want to talk about what's going on in the world, LGBT community, Black Lives Matter. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it.
Okay, so have you ever had any altercations with any of these type of movements, like Black Lives Matter movements, LGBT movement? Had they ever came at you a certain way or anything?
Yeah, social media, once you type something up, they're gonna take it
Absolutely.
down. So besides that, people gonna have their comments on how they feel and stuff like that. But hey, my job on this earth is to defend the gospel by all means necessary. So if I ain't dead, my mouth gonna continue to be open.
So let's go back into real estate, right? Let's delve into that because I see what you're doing when it comes to real estate. And first, I want to congratulate you being a Black woman in real estate because that's people don't understand how hard that is being a Black woman specifically in real or in business in general. So what are some struggles that you face being specifically a Black woman in business?
It's not really, I would say the biggest struggles are finding people that's like-minded like you. Okay. That's my biggest struggles. But I don't really have any struggles because in this industry, at least not yet, because I haven't got to the point that I want to get to. Because I'm probably 6 months into real estate, but I've accomplished so much. I literally within the 6 months hit 6 figures within the first 2 months that I started studying real estate. So I would say I haven't reached that point yet where I'm gonna get backlash and stuff like that. But when people start seeing you succeeding, they stop helping. I don't know that, but sometimes us, you know who us is, yes. We like crabs in a bucket sometimes. But I tell people all the time, there's room for everybody to eat.
So have you had any stories about people that seeing your success grow and it's like they're watching you from a distance and they just can't get with it. They just like, dang, she growing a little too fast. I don't like that.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's scams. Like,
it's scams.
What's she doing? What's she doing? But I think when you think scams, when it's coming to succeeding in life, because you see some people advancing too quick or too fast, that's a poverty mindset. Because a lot of people, when they see success, they first thing was, they must be Illuminati. As soon as you see a black millionaire, they're Illuminati. Or as soon as they start moving fast, they must be scamming. But that's a poverty mindset. So when you see somebody that's succeeding financially, spiritually, and stuff like that, you better get on the boat.
First breakdown, because I got a second question regarding this, but first breakdown, because you brought up a point here, break down the difference between the poverty mindset and the abundance mindset.
Poverty mindset is giving a broke man $3 million, and in 6 months or 3 years they're gonna be broke again. That's a poverty mindset, because even if they had it, they don't know what to do to sustain it. Whereas you can have somebody with $100 and they know how to budget that thing till for a whole month, or they know how to flip it into 100,000. You just got to have that mindset. And sometimes you have people with a lot of mind that have the mindset and that's driven to do it. They just got to get connected to the right person. And my biggest thing is in the real estate field, a lot of people don't do it from the heart. Like if I had like a young person that's trying to do what I'm doing, like everybody's saying, because you want to do it, let me charge her 80,000. To join my class, you got to give me 5,000. For me to mentor you is 5,000. Nobody genuinely takes people. I mean, you can't tell everybody, because you do got to benefit too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But nobody has that heart to say, I see potential in you. Just come with me. I got you. So for me, it's hard finding that in the real estate field. So my biggest thing is, I'm one handshake away.
One handshake away. That says a lot.
Because when I shake that right person's hand, my life gonna change drastically. So my thing is, until it manifests, I'm one handshake away.
Okay, so no, that. I'm gonna definitely take that. I'm gonna say that. That's gonna be. I'm gonna say that. One handshake away.
One handshake away.
And that is so true. It's scary. So okay, so you broke that down. So now the second question is, are you a solutionist? And solutionist is pretty much is like, yeah, life happens to me, but eventually I'm gonna get back up and dust that off, and now it's back business. You know what I'm saying?
I never met a millionaire that didn't fall 100 times. Never. I never met a music artist that did not fall or did not have to start from scratch. Most people, which I pray won't be my story, but some of the wealthiest people had to sleep in their car for months. So I am a solutionist. I'm gonna find how to capitalize off of what my struggle is right now. I'm not gonna lie. I was at this was probably 2018, right? 2018. I don't know what store. That's why I'm not ashamed to say it. Me and my mom was somewhere, and we were getting something to eat. And I was driving though. My mom was in the passenger seat, and so we pulled up, and I say, "Mom, you gotta pay because I ain't got it." So I showed her a picture of my account. I screenshotted the picture because my mom told me to. In my account, it said $1.06, right? About 2018. So she said, take a picture, screenshot that, because that's the last time you're going to see your bank account like that. Today, 2024, I never seen so many zeros. Nice. So I believe in capitalizing off of every struggle you go through.
It's a saying that says your struggle is profitable.
It is. It is. That's good. And I'm going to take that. Your struggle is profitable.
But okay, so how do you express that to people that are afraid? They think that if their struggles are, exposed, then you'll never see them again. But little do they know that struggle right there is your key to everything. So how would you even
today? Today, you see me today. This is the worst you gonna ever see me. Everything from this day up is up.
Nice.
Everything, financial wise, spiritual wise, everything is up. This gonna be the worst you ever see me.
Nice.
And that's how I move when it comes to life. Some people, they just have a poverty mindset. I remember I put up, somebody put like why do we store up riches here? God didn't call us to be broke. He said he made us the lender and not the borrower. So I professed over my life that I will be the lender and not the borrower, because one time I was a borrower, but not in this season. And I'm not going back to it because God's word said it. So that's just how I'm moving.
So would you agree that if you are a non-believer, speaking that over your life will work?
You gotta speak it. The Bible says, speak those things that be not as though they were. He said, if you tell this mountain to move, guess what that mountain got to do? That mountain got to get the heck out your way when you start speaking. So I think people look at their now.
Okay.
And they next is so blurry because they looking at their now. So my thing is, I don't look at where I am. I look at where I'm going.
So what are some negative thoughts regarding this mindset?
What you mean by that?
So what I mean by that is like, okay, so you're in the real estate, and when you said you never seen so much zeros, that hit me hard.
Yeah.
And we all know success and struggle goes hand in hand, even mentally wise.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like, what were some thoughts while getting those zeros to zeros to zeros? So
I'm working on sharing my story. But see, you the first to get it. So that's what's up. So I in June, right? I was studying some stuff on YouTube because I was trying to figure out like what's another way to make income. This man told me he wanted me to do some real estate stuff for him. But in studying how to max out what he wanted me to do, I found something for me. And I never found that man again. I never seen him in my life. So I say sometimes God set people up because he introduced me to real estate and I never seen him again. But in June, I ran across something called wholesaling in real estate, right? So I started studying it, and it's in June. So when I saw my first video in June, I only saw one video. I text my husband, our life getting ready to change because I already saw what God showed me. So in July, that's when I took it serious. I started watching videos. My husband like, what the heck you watching? But I was preparing for my future.
It always be like that.
Yeah. And so in July, I locked up my first house on contract. And and all I did was put $10 down on this house. Most people put thousands, and I put $10 down as an earnest money deposit. A lot of people don't know what earnest money deposit is. That's just basically saying, all right, I put money on this, I'm buying this property. I only put $10. And within less than 30 days, that $10 turned into almost $165,000.
Wow.
In my bank account.
Wow.
So that's what I mean. And I never seen that much money at once. And that came into my bank account where I ain't had to pay nobody out. Nah, this was my money. This was what I worked for. So, but ever since then, it was up.
So when you had, that's a good question just came to me. Okay. So when you seen that, you seen that hit your bank account, was that before or after you had the poverty mindset? Because I remember when you just said, when you have that much money and you still have the poverty mindset, you know, you could lose it within 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, you could lose. Nah, my mindset had changed because my mindset had already changed. That's what made me start wondering, like, what can I do as a second form of income? Like, because God say multiple streams of income. He didn't just call me to one.
Absolutely.
So I started researching, like, what can I do besides my job? Because I still work a 9-to-5 job, but and I'm a supervisor at what I do. A lot of people, when I first got my first wholesale deal, a lot of people like, quit your job. For what? Until I see consistency in what I'm doing, that's why a lot of people mess up. They don't finish what they start, or they move too soon. God didn't tell me to move yet, and a lot of people move out of their time, and they mess up for the future. So I'm staying until God say, "All right, you done," or until my business doubles what I make on my job.
Right, then I leave. So okay, so are you big on budgeting?
No.
No.
So no lie. My husband is my balance when it comes to budgeting and saving and stuff like that. My spending. No, I ain't ashamed to say it. My credit score went from about 480 to 700 since I met my husband. Now, I ain't ashamed to say it because I wasn't big on budget and saving, stuff like that. I just, because I was already a supervisor, I was getting a lot of money, but I wasn't managing it well. And that's why I say God always see your balance. My husband was my balance. So before I even did a wholesale deal, my credit score was almost at a 700, you know? So he was that balance for me.
So do you feel, let's get into another topic here, relationships. Let's get into relationships. From what I recall is you got married pretty fast.
I did.
You got married pretty fast. What did that consist of? Because in this generation, relationships, people are numb to relationships. I mean, you compliment them on something, they already ready to marry you, meet your family.
Yeah.
So how was it with you guys?
So I would say this. When I was dating in the dating world, I wasn't ashamed for somebody to take me out. A lot of people like, nah, I ain't taking out. Yeah, well, somebody want to take me out. Let's go to eat. What we doing? That was my thing because watch this. I was a virgin until I was 30.
Okay.
So them taking me out to eat or to see who I am or fill me out, that was okay. That's what's wrong with this generation. They don't date nobody. That's why they. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I was a virgin until I was 30 years old. So I met my husband at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you know God called you to someone, you just know. And God showed it to me, but I never told my husband God showed me. But when he said, I'm gonna marry you, that was the confirmation for me.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. And I wasn't expecting it to be 6 months, and I don't think he was. I think he proposed to me within 5 months. We was married at the 6th month.
Okay, no. So, okay, you said that doing the dating game. Obviously, you've been seeing a lot of mindsets regarding dating today.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So before you got into a relationship, how was the mindset? How was the single mindset for Stannetta?
My single mindset was, if you're not husband material,
okay,
I'm not wasting my time. Sometimes a guy that I don't know or a guy that I see a lot asks me to go to dinner. I can tell by the way that dinner goes if I'm going to call you again. Already off the rip. So my thing is, I wasn't wasting time. I was not wasting time.
So what does that look like? What do you say you're not wasting time?
Like let's just say I go on a date and we talking. Like I think we ask important questions, like when we talking to somebody, or or when you conversing with somebody on the phone, you ask questions like, what's your struggles? Like stuff like that. Or what's your mindset toward finances? What's your mindset towards marriage? And what a lot of people ask those questions, they get those and they think with dating someone or marrying that person, they can change the way that person answered that question. You're not going to change that. That's the person's mindset. So my thing is, I'm not going to try to change your mindset. I just know you're not for me. So
it's nothing. It's not you at all. It's just
I met some absolutely nice guys, but the way they thought process worked, I knew it wasn't going to match
compatible.
Yeah. So that's when the Bible talks about being equally yoked. That means a lot because a lot of people are not yoked with the right person, and being yoked does not mean like just you a Christian and I'm a whatever Catholic or whatever. That's not it. It's just having the same mindset, the same goals and things like that toward life.
Okay, so you are a married woman, a businesswoman, and you are a musician, a priest. You're a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah.
How do you even find balance within this? Because I personally know people that cannot withstand all of that. They have to give one up. But you're doing all of them at once.
Yeah, I mean, so I play basketball, I preach and stuff like that. But I think I played it in college. So it's a lot that I can do, but I'm probably not doing them all the time. Like with music, it's been a while since I wrote, but when somebody challenged me, like, hey, I want to do a song with you or something like that. Or a guy I work with, he just sent me a beat. So he want me to rap on it. So now I get to work on that craft at that moment. Or like somebody called me and say, we hooping today. I probably haven't hooped in 3 months, but I go out there and I go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something that I do every day. So, somebody got to probably call me to do it or something like that.
So juggling, all this. That's pretty much you juggling all this.
Yeah.
But you're doing it with ease though. So have you ever experienced what it's a term, spiritual fatigue? Ever?
Yeah.
Spiritual fatigue.
Yeah.
Like a spiritual burnout. Like,
yeah, when I get those, I just turn everything off. I done deactivated my Facebook, social media and stuff like that, and I give myself time to recoup. I did that plenty of time. Or I know sometimes when I get fatigued like that when I get fatigued, that means it's time to fast again.
Okay.
That's what that means for me. So when I get burned out, it means I need to shut everything out and go into that place again. So that's what happens when I get fatigued. A lot of people, they just need a vacation. But me, that means I need to reset. I need to go back to the basics. I need to do probably a 7-day fast, a 3-day fast, or 21-day fast, whatever the case may be.
So when did you first know that you was called? Like you knew it was a no-brainer, like, okay, this is the time. Like I was called for this. So
a lot of people prophesied it over my life and stuff like that. I started off doing poetry and spoken word.
Oh,
there go another one.
Yeah.
So I started that off, and my family would get me to do spoken words. And one day, I was going to Radiant Living Worship Center. Pastor Anthony T. Pelt, that's my guy right there. I was going to his church, and somebody told me I was doing a spoken word, right? So I get to church, and I'm like, I asked the pastor, I was like, so after I do this spoken word, who's coming behind me to preach? And he said, you the preacher. Never preached a day of my life. So I was 21 years old when I did that, my first sermon at his church. But when I really knew I was called to preach, I did a revival down in Orlando. And my mom, my dad was there, my sister was there. And the revival that broke out in that church, I was like, yeah, God hand got to be on me. For me to operate the way I just did, outside of who I am, outside of my character and things like that, I was like, yeah, God called me to do this. So that day in Orlando, when they had that revival, I knew that's what God called me to do.
Have you ever had any churchgoers, any people that you preach to become clients, or even interested in knowing the real Stannetta? Like they play basketball.
What you mean become clients?
Well, become clients as in, well, I wouldn't even say clients. I would say become a part of Stanetta's life. Like Stannetta is real cool outside of church.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot. Okay. Like, and then another thing is, I'm called to the youth. I got a thing for the youth. I'm called to women, men, whatever the case may be. But I have a burden for the youth. So when I preach to them, a lot of them get to see me outside of church, and I don't. And that's what draw them to me, that, she's a cool pastor or something like that. And I was with the youth department at my church, and I was called to the youth, and they see me inside church and they see me outside church with events and things like that.
So okay, so this is the last topic, right? The last topic, and this is going to be a deep one, okay?
All right, let's do it.
Now, this is regarding marriage.
Okay.
It's regarding marriage, okay? You said you were a virgin until you hit 30, right? Mm-hmm. What were the struggles? Because I ask this because in today's generation, people give in so fast to their temptations. They give in so fast to their lust. And when they can't find that high again, they kind of settle for anything. Yeah. Anything. And for you to withhold that until you was 30, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
So what are some things you had to fight?
So my biggest thing was, like, some people say you can't miss what you'd never had. That's true at some point. Okay. At some point. Now, it was good for me. I think the struggles start coming in, like, you human, my body, I'm a woman. So you're going to go through those natural, things women go through. But the temptation got real around the age of like 27, 28. That's when I knew God gonna either send my husband or he had to do something quick. Yeah. But I think I kept myself active. A lot of people, that when you keep yourself active, it's kind of, and then a lot of people, they put themselves in predicaments that's hard to climb out of. No, I ain't coming to your house and sitting on your bed. I ain't gonna do that, because I know my flesh is weak, and I know you probably ain't a virgin like me. So 2 of us in the same room on the same bed ain't gonna help me or you. So I try to keep myself out of those positions, you know. But yeah, around the age of like 28, it got real difficult.
So around the age of 28, was you still dating?
28, was I dating? Probably was.
So did they ever try to put a fast one on you?
Oh yeah, man, that was the guy's things, because off rip, for not to waste anybody's time, I told people I was a virgin. So that eliminated a lot. Yep. And a lot of people had the mindset, oh, I'm gonna get that, or they make it like a chase or something like that. But none of it worked. But it's just knowing what you called to and what God called you for. And I started doing things like podcasts on it. Like
okay.
I started doing recordings, like speaking to the youth about it. So now when you speaking out to youth, it's like you got to keep that vow and stuff like that, being that you're pouring into kids that's probably on the same journey that you going on, and you got to keep that purity about yourself. So that was my thing. And my thing is, shoot, I waited this long, nobody gonna touch me but my husband. So yeah, so that was my mindset.
So have you ever encountered a woman that was like, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever encountered women so far, like, look, this taking too long, I'm gonna go ahead and hit up so-and-so and just release
like women that's trying to wait?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I done talked to a lot of women that's trying to wait. And then it becomes more challenging when you experience that already. And then you saying, I'm gonna wait. Now you
okay.
So it's harder. So that part I never experienced before because I never had sex before.
Okay.
But for a woman that's had it before and say, now I want to wait, that's like a guy that's been out there and saying,
out there,
yeah, I'm gonna wait nah. So the thing is, without God, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
Okay.
There's a lot of people trying to do it off their own strength. You can't tell a crackhead can't say, I ain't gonna smoke crack no more. You gotta get help. you gotta get help.
So last question.
Okay.
All right. Actually 2 more questions. Okay. This question is regarding pretty much some similar to what we just said, right? Okay. How old are you, Stannetta?
I'm 32.
You are 32 years old. When did you get married?
I got married at 30.
You got married at 30? Okay. So how do you explain to women that is just giving up? Like, they just giving up on love. They saying like, look, I'm in my 40s. I'm in my 50s. I've been single for all these years. When is God going to send me my one? I've been waiting all this time.
A lot of women sit in the house and say, God, send me my husband. You gotta make yourself available. You gotta put yourself in the right environments. And then the thing is, you gotta find your husband where you want your husband. If you don't want no street dude, why you going to the club looking for? So the thing is, you want to work it, man. You want this. You gotta make yourself available and go to where you want to. And then a lot of times, sometimes God, I waited till God sent me mine. I didn't go looking. So a lot of times you got to put yourself in the right place for them to come and find you.
So you saying,
but you still got to be available though, because a lot of women sit in the house all day talking about God send me a husband. How? So make yourself available and make yourself ready.
So explain the availability, like kind of break that down when you say make yourself available.
Like a lot of people, they don't go out, they don't do stuff, they don't fellowship and things like that. Those are things you got to do. Like you just gotta be available.
Okay, so as far as that's physical.
Yeah.
Make yourself available. So what about the ones that's not available, spiritually wise, or mentally?
If you're not available spiritually and mentally, you shouldn't be looking for nobody to find you anyway. You gotta work. I think you have to work on yourself, because a lot of times we pray for a husband, and then when that husband comes, you're not even ready to be a wife. So it's probably pretty much you have to work on yourself. So that way, when he does come, you're ready. You know how to cook. You know how to clean. You know how to do something.
Communicate.
You know how to communicate. All of that stuff. So that's important. A lot of us, we still stubborn. Shoot, I'm still stubborn, but that's stuff we got to work on. So if you know your flaws, you know where you need to work on. That stuff you need to work on while you're single.
So what's the difference between submissive and matter of fact, what is your definition regarding submissive, being submissive?
Being submissive is allowing your man to lead. It's not an act of control. When you have a man in your life that's accountable, like a lot of people they don't have that standard or accountability about themselves. But when you have that, it's easy to submit to a man that know how to lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So last question. I know I said a couple last, but now this is the last question.
It's good stuff.
Where could we find Stannetta in all that she does?
You can find me on social media at Stannetta Givens. That's Instagram. On Facebook, I'm Stannetta Givens. Somewhere in this podcast or this interview, I think Jamila put it down there.
Yeah,
my name now. Somewhere because my last name used to be real simple. It was Givens. My husband got a French last name, so it's Descalines. It's a little difficult to spell. So on Instagram, you can find me at Stannetta Givens, and on Facebook, it's Stannetta Descalines.
All right, so we are at it again. Stannetta came dropping so much juice. Like I said in the beginning, she don't know if she gonna be cranking out a bunch of little Stannettas. We do not know from this interview. Everybody stay safe. We are at it again with another banger. Stannetta, anything you want to say?
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate you for having me on your platform. It's only up from here.
All right.
We one handshake away.